be outdone with this. This is, the last time, last 3 times that I did a video, something has happened to it. And I don't want to keep having that to happen. So I'm going to figure out what's going on. This time I see the mic, and I see that the mic says that it is on. So, one love and wellness. Love+Art equals wellness. Heart Happy Hour Season 6. All right, I was talking about a bunch of stuff, and I don't even know if I'll be able to remember all the stuff because I think I'm gonna take down the other one. That half of the doggone thing, the time is, the volume is down. And yes, I'm near the airport. Yes, I'm at the marina. There's the boats. I'm not far from the national airport, and I am over near the Virginia line. So this is the Virginia side, and that is the DC side over across. I don't know if you could see through there or not. Let's see. That would be where you could see through at, not far from the highway. So, anyway, one love this family. I just wanted to share some things that I've been getting downloads on that I just want to share. Because I had talked about some things that I think that are biblically important to people, that we've grown up having a certain way of feeling about. Like, um, if we're all born female, okay, if we're born female in the beginning, then we all start with the female parts. And then certain pieces, certain parts of the female anatomy or male anatomy emerge, or stay neutral, or stay at bay. So when we start looking at the coccyx bone, the bottommost bone of the spine, and the fact that it has something to do with kickstarting, hacking into the Kundalini, the Christos flow, the Christmas, that each person has once a month, a Christmas. When your sign is when your sun sign is in the moon, so each day there is a different sun, or for 3 days there's a period of one sun sign, the next sun sign, the next sun sign, the next sun sign, and on around until my sun sign it has its 2.5 day or so stay in the moon. So at that time is supposedly a prime time for us to be able to connect that, or to be available or open to, or to accept, or to allow that type of energy flow. And so, oh, hi there. So and so that energy flows. Thank you, love you too. Mwah, mwah, mwah. So the energy flows from our pineal gland. We have this liquid crystal that flows, our plasma, our which includes the crystals and crystallization. The what I'm being told, or having heard recently, is our carbon is turning into silicone, or a plasma, and the more plasmatic that we become, the closer we are to our godliness. I'm not sure about that last part. That was me kicking that part in there. But to be very honest, I'm not real sure if we're accessing that part of our energy under the right auspice, because we're calling people who have alternative lifestyles gay, which means happy, which, again, this is what I said in my last video, which there's a study or some data that I came across that said that those who are choosing alternative lifestyles are usually better. I don't want to say tenants or better at paying, but are credible, more credible, as far as, I don't know if it's their commitment or what. I just remember reading some information that gave them, the alternative lifestyle, a notch up on the belt of, as far as, the Credit Karma kind of thing. But anyway, I say all this to say, I mentioned that Puff the Magic Dragon, was exposed as I hear he was an altar boy. So if he was an altar boy, then he was exposed to some things at a young age. So maybe he tapped in, because as he started getting into the music, into the party thing, into entertainment, music is the language of gods. The music has a way of connecting every, you know um it's beyond language. Music is a language. Music speaks to you without you even having words to it, just as they play it. Like you get like goosebumps, like you get energized in that stuff. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go. Who is that keeps saying something? You will always be fighting the darkness. You know what? I have won so many times when I was opposed by the darkness. That's the funny part. I don't fear the darkness. What I fear is what I do to it. Like, I can use the energy any way I want, good or bad or otherwise. It ain't, it's how I choose to use it. And I can say that, I have been able to utilize my darkness in ways that are beneficial. So that's all I got to do is justify it in my mind. I ain't got to go to nobody and do no kind of confession, because I know how to balance out my energy just like they do. They know how they put their name on something. There's some kind of help in the community. There's some kind of, give back program, some kind of, uh, um, um, public service or assistance, or, you know, um, uh, grants and all that good stuff. All those things are ways of balancing your karma back, balancing your book of business, balancing your, karma budget. So anyway, whatever the case is, good, bad, or indifferent, I'm just saying that in the Bible, they tell you that is not good. That is not, but that is, it is, has long since been, sex magic. It has a very high rate of effectiveness. The longest running um, uh, career, or you know uh, is prostitution. So you would think that there was something magic to it. You remember Harlem Nights, the movie. I think I was looking for the name of that the other day. Harlem Nights, the movie. Sunshine got in there. Bloop, bloop. She flipped the script and made him, decide, like, so that's the power of the punani is definitely, there is a there was a time when and I've been saying a lot more this season than I had ever said out loud to anyone. So, you guys, I'm telling you some things that have been building up, and it's like time that people can start to, understand the extremities. Like, we are, like those jails that they're putting people in. Yes, they're putting mostly black men, but those black men are the strongest battery of energy in those cells, and they have the cells themselves are their conductive materials all around, iron bars through the whole thing. And then, it is one big conductor, and then the guy at the top that, he has a W on his name. I believe that the W, like in the Scrabble game, I believe that W is a that's somebody who knows how to wield the power, and I think that's, like I said, so there's a sector of magic, sex magic or otherwise, that we have not really a lot of public, like, that in the entertainment industry, Epstein, Weinstein, whatever their names are, the couch stuff, that in the record industry, in the movie industry, that in the entertainment industry altogether, 4 years, there have been a lot of secret society, or boys clubs, or um, mm, folks tapping into, these energies. Like, Terrence Howard has said that every time he goes into a new character, that's like tapping into the many faces that he has had to choose from and select and become himself in the image of, so, and it can be, you can be all these things inside of this one person and multiply it like crazy. I don't know where that came from, but just to say that I have actually been in dreams where I was several people at the same time, and I knew I was all those people at the same time in the dream. Like I was a dog, I was a scientist, I was myself, I was a baby, and I knew that I was a baby too. So it, yeah, for real. I've had dreams where I've commandeered and been on the top of and flying airplanes. I've been in where I've fought in. I was trained as a youth in martial arts and as an adult in martial arts. But even before the lessons and even after the lessons, I am like in my dreams, cold with it, in my dreams. But yeah, so it was said recently, I forget the gentleman's name, Ani Osara or something like that. He had said that the dreams were us dreaming of them, and that they would be, possibly dreaming of us. Well, I'm saying the other me's are some cold mofos, for real, for real, for real. Because once I realized that I'm in the dream, and that, because like I said, I had a dream, and this is in 2024. I had a dream that I was dreaming in my dream. So in my dream, I woke up from my dream and knew I was still in my dream. So, and like I said, I had this Paramahansa, Yogananda Paramahansa. I was with him in a dream, and he, took me through the paces and the levels and got me to when I got to the level where he felt like he could reward me, he gave me a tricolored necklace that I took back with me to this side, to this realm. Walk through walls, guys, have matrix moments, have had Harry Potter moments, you know, have had a special uh, uh, time with seeing ETs and the veils drop from, you know, I want to say it was an ET. At first I was thinking it was a devil because I was in the church real big. Oh, a demon, a devil. But it has to be an ET. It has to be, I've even seen shapeshifters. I mean, like right in front of my eyes, they became something else. I mean, and right in front of my eyes, and like thinking I ain't gonna remember, I ain't gonna say nothing, but I speak up. You know, if I see something, I say something. That was one of the topics of one of my previous recordings. One of the ones that they didn't want up. Like my last three recordings, not the one, well, yeah, the one earlier was the volume was off half the time. But anyway, if you see something, say something, question it, ask about it, because you really we need to stop being so quiet about some things and stop being afraid of the things that we see, because like at some point when I was in Baltimore, I saw this guy walking down the street. I was across I had negotiated a contract with Disney. Disney was filming the movie Ladder 49, and they were filming it out of my office. This is how cold I was with the negotiations, right? This is how I was attracted to stuff. So the Disney, the people who I was negotiating with, so I got them to I had lunch with on the set with the people every day. They had provided me lunch. They moved all my office equipment out, gave me another office, paid for the office, paid for the storage during the time, because they moved me into an office that it was already furnished. Moved my office furniture out into storage, so I had an upgrade for a little while. But anyway, during that time while they were doing the filming, there was this guy who he had white hair, he was white skinned, pale white, no color white. And he had, I want to say, electric eyes to me. So he was at a distance. He was standing by what would have been a cigar store. And so he comes out in front of the cigar store. This is about half a block away. For some reason, he catches my eye down the block, and I'm seeing him. I'm like, he's got a sky blue kilt on. Where's this fella from? And then he starts walking, but instead of walking, this man looked like he's gliding. He gliding towards me, right? I'm like, what the what, right? And so then he starts telecommunicating with me, and he says, there is a cigar on the wall on the ledge right by you. Give me a match when I get there to light my uh cigar. So I look on the ledge next to me, and it's a cigar right there. So I says, okay. So there's the security guard standing right next to me. So I said, excuse me, big burly security guard person. There's a person that's on their way over here. This is their cigar right here. Can you light it for them? Because it was a she, but she was a big burly person. Bigger than me. Shoot, I wasn't sticking around for that at that point. I was scared. But I was seeing all this stuff so often that it wasn't like I was running scared. Like I just was like, okay, let me. All he said was he wanted a light. I didn't know what else he might want from me. So I'm like, hey, when he come, can you light this for him? And I went on in the building. And so I don't know what happened after that. I just know that the white man with the blue eyes, with the electric eyes, with the blue kilt on, that was sliding in my direction. I just knew I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't. And there's been a lot of things that have happened. Like some cloak dropping. The walk through wall kind of thing. The manifestation in the dream of bringing it back to this side. That guy in particular. Me being able to. So all I'm saying is that I'm opening up to accepting and allowing these things as they arise. And because the more I do accept and allow, the more I'm introduced to be able to accept and allow, the more control I get, the more, and all I'm doing is sharing this stuff. I'm just sharing with you the fact that, the more you open yourself up to this stuff, the more available this stuff is for you. So it's like going into the library. Like I've tapped into, I want to say the Akashic Records. I'm not, there was a guy whose hair I was getting ready to cornrow, and I would tell you the whole story, but it'd be a long story. But he had somebody else that was doing his hair, and I wanted to show her up, and so I wanted to do his hair, and so I did the hair, and I was like, ancestors, guide my hands, and I've never done this before, and I've never been, the braider or the person that was in this realm of creativity, but I want to pull that realm of creativity into my realm of the now and administer this, you know, technique and very stylish way, and did, and it went over well. I pulled in magnificently. But that's back when I had first started getting into doing vision boards, and that's one of the things I do now. Vision boards. I have a fall detox special that I do. That is I do this new meditation that was downloaded through my son gazing, or sun meditations, and that is, it was formerly called the Gateway Meditation. I name it according to, I just use the technique and may introduce something in the beginning or the end of it. Like tomorrow's the full moon, so I'll be doing a full battery of battery, a full write up, and launching a new um, a new meditation. But so yeah, so I have a website. Love+Art=wellness is where you would go to get some of my stuff, or you can look me up on any of the socials and DM me. I when I'm in your town, or we can do things virtually, or I do a lot of traveling, so I sometimes will make a special trip and just cater the trip about around business. I'm ready to roll, rock and roll, and so many ways. So yeah, the main thing is that the things that I've been taught as a child from the Bible, it says no magic, no astrology, no tarot, no what do you call it, mysticism. It says none of those things. It says, like, don't do these things, that's forbidden, astrology, and but that's cosmology. All these things are things that are numerous things that we use, that we can tune into, that help us, like the science of self, the science of life. The more, like the math is music, music is God, God is love. That's a lot of sayings. But what I'm saying is that there is um, some likeness of God in the music, some likeness of, the creativity, the creative spark that comes out. Me creating my jewelry, which I don't have on much of today. But yeah, the creativity that I use during the times of my creating, you know, that is me tapping into my God spark. So when we tap into hack into the God spark through the coccyx bone for the kundalini, for to activate the Merkaba, to kickstart the Christos, to going from either to bring it down or to kick it up, one way or the other. I feel as though, that's a whole domain of things that we are not yet allowing on a major scale. Because if it is magic involved, if it's magic, I don't know. Black magic woman. I don't know. Let me stop. I'm trying to say with the magic songs I know, and I'm not starting out on the right tune. But anyway, just to say, I just said all those words in the one. Any just say, anyway, just to say that I've got to go back to the drawing board on, I went to private school, I went to Catholic school, I studied the Bible, I went through, they wrote me up in the newspaper because I was always saying, show me that in the Bible, because they was always telling us something. And then, well, this is the gist of that. And I'm like, give me a better explanation of that than that from to what you saying, because I really didn't, it really didn't give me the fullness thereof. I'm getting the fullness thereof now though. I'm into that part of it now. I'm definitely to the place where, more times than not, things are being revealed to me that, and I think I may start to do less talking to you guys too, because I don't think that these are things that folks really want us to, be in full-fledged knowledge of. If a male has a coccyx bone and a female has a coccyx bone, and the fact that a virgin, I mean, in many cultures, the virgin is a highly sought after, like there's 1,000 virgins that's gonna come to you if you know. I took the Shahada, I've been in the Nation of Islam. I've been a part of, all these different been a part of a variety of organizations, and some that recruited me to come to their meetings for various reasons and things because of whatever. I don't know. I know I did a study with the state of Maryland. I saw an advertisement one time that says, if you have this, that, and the other in your family, if this runs in your family and you have, bouts of ESP, extrasensory perception, or foreknowledge, or some forecasting, dreams and all these things like that. If you have these, we'll pay you to have conversations with you. Now, ultimately, it was about getting me to try a particular drug, which I never did that part. But they paid me for me to share with them what I'm sharing with you, and they paid me anyway. Like, subscribe, and share, guys. And hey, if you do want to get some kind of, if you do want to, be nice and donate, or send me some sort of, show me some sort of love. My cash app is $ Precious Mother Love, all one word, Precious Mother Love. Show me some love if you so choose. I appreciate it. So, but in the meantime, the state of Maryland paid me to tell them this kind of stuff, you know. And so, the reason why I did that was because I wanted to. They confirmed that I was able to do their testing with 87% accuracy, which was, they had this, there were a couple different tests that they did, but one that I was really, I went on later to try it with other people to see how much they, were the likeness of what I went through. So they would write something on a card and then put it on the front of a person's head. And then I would, tap into my realm, you know, and shit, and throw out what I thought it was. And 87% of the time I was accurate. It's like, what? That was. So I wanted to know that. That was my way of testing myself, which is the same way that I use, you know, hospitals and doctors for now, as far as for diagnostic. You know, sometimes I'm able to be diagnostic of myself and even others. You know, but then sometimes I need that print up or that write up, or that information being um, a, a a point of data collection, so from A to B, measuring, so for scientific purposes sometimes, you know I don't really, that's not, I rely on, I mean, I've been in the place where, I mean, and I've been saying a lot on this live, right? But I have had bones to heal within 15 minutes, whereas where I actually watched it go from crooked to straight to heal, and in some cases 3 days. I had a patient, I had someone who I was working with. That patient was able to heal their, they had a broken collarbone or broken neck. They had broken ribs and bruises and whatnot all over their body. And within 30 days, not only were the ribs healed and the collarbone, but the discoloration of the skin of the bruising and all that, because there was deep cuts and everything, all of that was healed. I took them back to John Hopkins Hospital at that point, and they, at, because that was the first, the first day back from, because they were in a car collision, medevac to, where they were. And so they were, the first day I got a call, I said, remember that what they taught you, remember that, that you have, that how that the body can heal, and da, 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 da. I shot a whole bunch of information that I knew that they had been taught, that I knew that they just needed to reconnect with the neck. Because that day they said, well, he's gonna have to go, this person's gonna have to go into the hospital and rehab and da, 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 right? So the very next day after we had that conversation, they called to say, hey, conditions have changed. You can come and this person can go home with you. The frick frackety frock. The very next day. So I goes and I picks them up, right? They're visible, deep gashes, visible bruises, you know, all of, the x-ray from the day before, showed these broken ribs in the collarbone and so on. So then fast forward to the next 30-day visit, which is what I started talking about. So we went back for that first 30-day visit after the release. And they were like, we're releasing them to your care because apparently you, this person, because I went in as like their nurse, which I have worked with physicians before, which I have been a part of the wellness team in the past. I've been a wellness coach for years over a variety of resources, wellness counseling. And so, as it turns out, you know, all of this, all of these brilliant, wonderful, magnificent, marvelous, energetic, all these different facets of life, all these different multiple, multi-dimensional things that are overlapping and spun into this big ball of wax. They're just different angles, different ways of utilizing the energy, different ways of tapping into the inner realm of, connections to the outerness of it. So, anyway, one love and wellness. Ashe, Ashe. All right, Freddie Dorsey, you got a YouTube channel. I'll check you out. Look at its shape. Why, 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 why? Why? I am who I am and I love who I am. What is that? Breastbone is a tuning rod. Is it? It looks like, the breastbone looks a little bit like And that's why a friend of mine had his sternum broken into, I believe, because he was one of the descendants of the Louisiana Purchase. He was one of the last of the living that was a descendant of the Louisiana Purchase. And he passed maybe 2 years ago, year and a half ago. And anyway, so they broke it into his sternum, and he was never the same after that. They said that that pulled a lot of his that like that let a lot of let a lot of the air out, the energy was able to be released, or that he was harboring, because he was a very, very strong, thick, you know he actually told me about a couple of pleasure island trips that he had, and he walked with a big old staff, and he was into all of that um, um, bedroom magic. So, and that's something, and that always what they say. This is where the magic happens. Why do they say that? And then they don't. Then and we insinuate or imply that magic is making whoopee, you know. But no real instructors on that stuff. Yeah, they have, sex doctors and stuff like that. But and what's her name, Dr. Ruth, the little short lady? No, that wasn't. Was that Dr. Ruth? Who was that little short lady? Because she was said to have been at some of them Puff the Magic Dragon parties too. So anyway, y'all, I'm just making sure that this in these last three videos that I know I missed saying some of these things over to you. So hopefully you get some of what I said. One love and wellness. Thanks for hanging in there. Peace and love and soul train. Oh, and about the coliseums and holidays, that's another place that our energy is being usurped into. It's like a beaming light coming out of there, like a light in the night. And all those bright neon lights that we put in there, that's mapped out with that energy that we're sending up there. And those black guys and males in those jails, their energy, they get them to work and do these little menial jobs, well, not menial, meaningful jobs for menial amounts. That is actually tapping us. They try to tap us dry, but that's us. We should be learning from these things, then learning how to harness these things ourselves, and learning how to keep ourselves heart happy hour, love, love, love. I'm not all fluff and puff. I am tough and rough as well, but I'm mellow and harmonious for the most part. So one love and wellness, love plus art equals wellness. Ashe. Peace and soul.